Today's recipe is white dhokla, also known as Idra. This is Surti, Idra. My dad's from Surat, my mom's from Hyderabad, and I grew up in Surat. And I love this Idra. I love every Surti farsan that I've had since my childhood. So I'm trying to replicate the dish here. Here I've got some short grain rice, which is actually sushi rice, because I don't have any other short grain rice at home currently. So this will work good for my recipe. And here I've got 1.5 cups of sushi rice, which is this is what I'm using. And here I've got about half cup of urad dal. This is without the skin. And this urad dal weighs around 104 grams and the rice weighs around 292 grams. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to mix these two dals together, and I will be rinsing this dal with room temperature water and till the water runs clear. I would also like to make a quick mention. I'm using urad dal and it's known as black gram split dehusked, and this is what I'm using for the recipe. I just completed washing the rice and urad dal till the water ran clear. You can see it. Now what I'll do is I will cover this and soak it for at least 8 to 10 hours or overnight, and I will place this in a warm place and then I'll show you what to do next. Soak around quarter teaspoon of fenugreek seeds while you're also soaking the dal and rice. It's been almost 14 hours since this dal and rice has been soaking. I soaked it overnight. So now I'll just show you how what soaking does to the dal. Now this is urad dal. If I just break into it, it breaks off easily. And this is what we're looking at, and that's the reason why we soak it overnight. And even the rice. And I've used short grain rice, and because I had sushi rice at home, that's why I'm using it. But if you find idli rice, you can use that, which is ideal for the recipe. So you can see here, even the rice grain just breaks easily when I press it. And I've also soaked this poha for almost like 5 hours actually, and I rinsed it well till the water ran clear and I soaked it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the water from this poha, drain the water out completely, and here I will remove the water from the rice and dal mix, but I won't remove all the water from it. I will leave some for using it to make the batter. And here I have also soaked methi seeds, also known as fenugreek seeds, which is quarter teaspoon. So what I will be doing is I will be making a paste of this in my mortar and pestle, because if I try to do it in my grinder, it won't grind easily. So here also the reason I soak all this is so that I can make a nice and easy paste. So here also you can see this is a seed. Let me try to break it. I don't know if you can see it, but it's broken here, like it breaks easily. And I will be using about 3 tablespoons of whisked yogurt, which is around quarter cup. So I will start making a batter of this mixture for my next step. I've just removed the water from this poha, but I just want to strain all the water out, so I'm using a sieve. And I don't want to use the poha water in my batter. I just want to use the dal and rice water in the batter. I'll just try to do this. And what poha does is, the role of poha in the idra is to make it soft, and that's why we use poha in the recipe. All the water has been removed well, and this is ready to use. Now I will make a paste of this methi of fenugreek seeds. I'm going to remove the water from this bowl and then add it to the mortar and pestle. I've left around half teaspoon or teaspoon of water actually. I might use it, I might not use it while making a paste. Now I will make a paste of this urad dal and rice, and I will pour out most part of the water and just leave a little for the batter. The batter should not be very liquidy, because Idra is like white dhokla, so you need a little medium consistency batter. Add some 2 tablespoons of water. I'll add around 1 tablespoon of yogurt to the mixture and start blending. What I like doing is first I'll make one batch at a time, and then I'll mix all together. And if I feel the need to blend it again, that's when I'll do it again. And I will also now in the second batch be adding the poha as well. I'll just divide the poha into 2 batches. I'll add another tablespoon of yogurt. Again, make a puree or blend it. How it looks after it's made into a paste. Now this is the final batch. So I'll just add the remaining dal and rice to it. At this point of time, after adding the remaining dal and rice, I will also add the remaining poha as well as the remaining yogurt and the methi paste or fenugreek paste that we made. I will be adding that as well. And I will be using about 2 teaspoons of sugar in this recipe. What sugar does is it helps in the fermentation process of this mixture. This is how it looks after it's made into a paste, and I'm going to double grind it because I like to always grind this twice. So I'll just, whatever I've prepared, I'm going to grind it again, and I'm going to double grind it because I like to always grind this twice. So I'll just, whatever I've prepared, I'm going to grind it again. You can see this batter, I have blended it very well, and this is the consistency we are looking at. So it's medium consistency. Whisk it well and incorporate some air. Now I haven't added salt just yet in this recipe because what I want to do is I want to keep this for fermenting overnight for another 12 to 14 hours, and then I will add some spices and steam this to make it idra. You can see this mixture is well blended and it's of medium consistency. I haven't added salt at this point of time. If the temperature where you live in is a bit cold, don't add salt for fermenting because it will slow the process of this batter fermenting. I want to ferment it for a further 14 hours or overnight. If you're living in a warmer climate or your season is warm, then you add salt. That will fasten the process of fermenting, but in a cold climate it won't. So that's why I'm not adding salt. Now I'll add salt when I'm adding all my masalas. So right now I'm just giving a good mix. I want to incorporate some air before I cover and keep it overnight for fermenting. Cover and keep this to ferment overnight in a warm place, either your oven or microwave or wherever you have a warm place in your kitchen. Keep it there, and then I'll show you what will happen next. It's been over 24 hours actually since this batter has been fermenting. So you can see a little bubbles here, you can see them formed, and this is the sign that my batter is ready to use. So I'll just give it a mix, and I will be using some salt as per taste, as well as 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and a tablespoon of ginger and green chili paste. So what I'll do is first I will divide this batter into half, and this is a measurement for half a batter actually. And I will also be using some pepper powder. If you want, you can also use red chili powder, but ideally in Surti Idra we only use pepper powder, actually fresh crushed peppercorns. And I will also be using some oil for this recipe. So first thing first is I'm going to divide this dough into half, because when you add baking soda to any recipe, to a batter, then it activates immediately, and that's why we have to work very quick with this batter. So first I'll just divide the batter here into another dish. And when you don't see bubbles forming proper in your batter, please keep it for a bit longer time for it to ferment. That's the time when you know your batter is ready to use. I've divided the batter into half here and half there, so I'll just add a little more here, and I'll cover this and use it later on in my next batch of idra. Now I'll add my ginger and plus I will add in salt as per taste and give it a good mix. This is almost ready. I will add the baking soda a bit later. Now, before I move on to the next step, now I will be using these Idra thalis, and also they are known as Dhokla thalis. So here I've got some. And what I've done is I have also put my steamer on, and I am steaming water over there. I've actually heated this oil. Now I'll just apply oil on all the thalis so that it's easy for us to remove this Idra from it. And oil generously. And I always heat my oil actually before doing this, but if you don't want to heat the oil, that's fine too. But I heat the oil because once the Idra is ready, then I will top these Idra with some oil. I'll apply some oil over the Idra. That's why I like to heat my oil. Now what I'll do is I'll start spreading it on the bigger platter, and then I will use the others. Now I've got this baking soda, so I will be adding the baking soda here. After adding the baking soda to the batter, I will also add about a tablespoon of oil to this batter, and I will add some water, literally a tablespoon of water, to activate the soda, not more. Now you'll see this will become very fluffy and thick, so just give it a quick mix. And while you're working with baking soda, you need to work very quick. And now I will start pouring this into the thali. Now if you don't have baking soda, you can also use Eno. So I'll just pour in. Don't make a very thick layer. I'm making first 2 thalis of this Idra. This I will immediately just spread it properly around. And this I will place it in my steamer. Start boiling water, so be careful, it's hot. You can see the water is boiling in. And I will start placing my thali. Let's place this thali carefully. I've used my tongs. After placing it in the thali, after placing the thali, I'll just put in some peppercorn. You can fresh crushed peppercorn. Now I'll place the second thali as well, and just sprinkle some pepper. And now I will let this steam on high flame for 12 minutes. Exactly 12 minutes since this has been boiling. Now I will check if the Idra is done. I'm going to put a knife through and just check, and you can see it's come out clean. And now what I'll do is I'll remove this. Idra is ready, so I'll just apply some oil over the Idra so that it doesn't dry out. I will remove it from my steamer very carefully, and I will place it and let it cool for at least 10 to 12 minutes. It's been exactly 10 minutes. Now I will cut into this. First I'll just try to loosen it from the corners. If you can't do that, that's fine. Now I'll just cut it into square shape. If you have idli rice flour, that would be perfect. Remove it. You can see how lovely it is. It's cooked so well through and through. And this is the thicker Idra. I'll show you the difference between the thin and the thicker Idra. So this is the thinner Idra, and this is the double the size, little thicker Idra. So it's up to you whether you like thinner Idra, you want to make a thinner Idra, or you want to make a thicker Idra like this. They both taste delicious, and if you use like short grain rice or something, it will even taste better. Here I've used sushi rice. It's a bit sticky, but it is an absolutely delicious Idra, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. You can see the Idras all ready to serve. I will be serving this idra with besan chutney. For the recipe of besan chutney, I will leave the link in the description box below. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Please leave a comment. Please click on the bell icon for notification of my latest videos. And thank you for watching. Enjoy!